The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliate stations coast to coast present
Baseball, Beer, and Barbecue.
The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike three, blew it past it.
Discussing baseball, good drinks, and food.
And you got your honey mustard?
I love mustard.
With Ted Hicks and Lee Vowell.
Well, big deal. I am very professional.
On the Happy Hour Network.
And welcome to Baseball, Beer, and Barbecue. Like us on Facebook, follow us on the Twitter at Baseball, Beer BBQ, and read us on our blog site, baseballbeerbbq.com. We will be joined in just a few moments by Jeffrey Paternostro of SB Nation's Amazing Avenue to discuss the World Series. You can also hear us at NGSC Sports, I-95 Sports Network, Back Sports Page, RF Sports, XRP Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and our newest partner, Arena Sports Network. And we are having a few difficulties this morning, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Can you hear me? Anybody can hear me out there?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay.
Loud.
Yes,
and
I
clear.
can. Yes, I can.
Ooh, Are you on your cell phone, Ted?
I am on my cell. Hold on.
Okay.
Is this better?
A little bit better. My stuff's not working for me either, so but I can hear you, and you guys can hear me, so...
Yeah, I should be in a better situation in a matter of a minute or so. So bear with me. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
You know, Lee,
Go ahead.
as you get older, your stuff just stops working, so it's okay. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it. You were at a Halloween party last night. We saw that. It's okay, man. It takes a while to recover.
Yeah.
It's all about when you're going to be fixed.
I guess so.
Or will you be free?
It's more a matter of whatever is happening with my mixing board is not really coming. It's not, my computer's not doing anything. So hopefully I sound clear and I don't sound like I'm in a cave or anything. So we'll just go from there. So Todd, we'll start with you. Were you able to watch the game last night? You may have not watched the game, but if you saw highlights, Noah Syndergaard strikes out 6. Gets the win.
Right.
David Wright gets 4 RBIs. Of course, Syndergaard threw at Escobar, so that was interesting. And his comments afterwards. What was your feeling on the game?
I saw it off and on. I was at a party for my brother, so I saw probably an hour of the game. First, excellent for the Mets that, and especially for Wright, that he came through, because I know he had to feel like crap that I've been waiting for this, and I'm trying to do this for everybody, not just the team, but everyone, and he finally was able to came through. And yeah, as far as Syndergaard, his I really love his comment. They can meet me 60 feet 6 inches away. Like, wow, like nothing like saying it's on, pal. And no, I don't think he was trying to hit him at all. I mean, if he was trying to hit him, he would have hit him, and he wouldn't have thrown at his head either. But, he said this was the Syndergaard plan, and he was out there to make him uncomfortable, and he was uncomfortable. Now, did it get in the Royals' heads? I mean, 6 strikeouts, like you said, is like Syndergaard, obviously, he pitched differently than the 2 fireballers that came before him. He certainly did. Whether it's definitely started with that. I don't know if it really got into the Royals' heads or if finally, one of the Mets pitchers lived up to the billing, which they really weren't able to so far against Kansas City, which couldn't seem to miss a pitch up until last night. So, from what I saw, I mean, not quite as cool as Game 1, because Game 1 was incredible, but heck of a game. Well, of course, it wasn't as close, but I mean, still, terrific game, and terrific for baseball fans, because we were going to get at least 5 now, so that's awesome.
Yeah, Ted, your thoughts?
I was going to sing a song, but I don't know all the words yet, so I could be on the show lip sync. So I'll start it off by, all of my life I've been waiting time again, watching dreams go by. And that's David Wright's career. All of his life, he's been waiting for this moment. And hell yeah, you finally show up. Come on. This is your time. You're in your early to mid 30s, and you got to do this. You got to do it now. And you've taken over the moniker of being the captain. So if you're going to be the captain, you got to be Captain Clutch, because that guy in the Bronx was beyond clutch when you needed him. So I like what Syndergaard did last night, because if you look at the other pitchers, I got to get the specific percentages down, but I know Harvey, I think like 52% of his pitches were fastballs, right down the middle, and we saw what happened there. Mm-hmm. So, as for brushing them back, and I think without a doubt, the Mets MVP of the postseason, as much as everyone wants to say it's Daniel Murphy, and we love him, it's Granderson. It's Granderson time and time again coming through on offense, on defense, saying the right thing. And if you notice, at the end of the game, it's usually Granderson speaking with the media. So it's good to have that veteran leadership and presence in the locker room. I started saying to you guys a couple of days ago, the incredible disappearing Cespedes. Come on. This is supposed to be this guy's seasons too. So I'm happy. And I hate to sound like this because I'm going to get blown up on social media, but I'm glad we just didn't get swept. I would have really been hurt.
Yeah, I don't. The Kansas City had to win at home, and we talked about this probably on air and off air, but they had to win at home. And, it was one of those things, they took care of business, and now the Mets need to take care of business while they're at home and then just get one of the last two in Kansas City. That's just how it's going to be. The Mets have to win tonight, I think. Going down 3-1, it would be problematic, obviously. But if they even the series up at 2-2, we're definitely going back to Kansas City at that point, and it's anybody's ball game again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
very
Ted,
true.
Sorry, go ahead, Todd.
No, it's very true. Like Ted said the other night, just how different this series would be. And you said the same thing, basically. It's like, how different would this be if the Mets had pulled out Game 1 and they were so close? So, but it isn't, and they didn't. So, yeah, they definitely have to win. They definitely have to take this game tonight. Well, they got to take,
I will say this much. The leash on Matt is going to be so short tonight, knowing that Bartolo and Nice and everyone else, this is going to be like Game 7 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So, Matt throws hard, obviously. He throws 95-mile-per-hour max. Does something funny happen, Todd, that you want to share with us?
Yes, MLB. I'm sorry I was trying to keep my laughter internal, and I wasn't able to. I'm watching MLB Network right now, and Sean Casey is talking to Mr. Syndergaard, and it is Mr. Syndergaard, by the way. And Sean Casey he's wearing a Thor helmet, so
Oh yes, I saw it.
Anyway, please continue.
One other thing I just want to drop in there. Steven Matz, it's his 9th career start.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we've seen Matz throws hard. He throws up 95-mile-per-hour fastball maximum. He doesn't throw as hard as the other three guys. So, Ted, what's Matz going to bring to the table without maximum 100-mile-per-hour speed that the other pitchers aren't? How is he going to be successful tonight? Or maybe he's not going to be successful. Ted, you still there?
Ted ran away.
I just think he has to. He's going to have to paint those corners. He's going to have to paint those corners because what we've seen with the Royals in each of the previous series, you try to throw that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's going to be deadly because they're going to smack that ball around, and they're going to take each pitch count is going to be deep. So my main concern tonight is for Mets is you got to get to the fifth inning. You got to get to the fifth, and that's a big question mark because they're going to make this guy throw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, but I mean, is that really what Kansas City wants to do? They want to make anybody throw a lot of pitches. They just want to hit the pitches that are thrown over the plate, right?
Right.
So, they want to attack early in the count, even if they have to. The Mets don't have the greatest bullpen from starter to closer, so if the Mets only want them to get to the fifth, or how are they going to close that gap between Mats and Familia?
Bartolo. He's the answer. He's the answer
Bartolo.
for everything.
The ageless mound on the mound, Bartolo Colon.
That's right. That's just yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. It's interesting that it's 2015 and Bartolo Colon is still such a huge deal when it comes to importance of World Series. He is, yeah, absolutely he is.
And he pitched well in game. I mean, he took the loss, but he pitched really well in game one. It's not like they can't count on the guy. They can. And honestly, I mean, if they're going to win the series, I think they have to. I am right in there with you, Ted. At some point, he is, as Lee said in his best Trump voice, he's huge.
Did I say that? Did I say huge? Maybe it's the internal microphone that I'm being forced to use today. So, yeah, at least I'm in a closed room. Hopefully there's no other sound. I can talk a lot deeper. So, what message was Syndergaard sending last night to, maybe he wasn't trying to throw at Escobar, but he did something that really I'm surprised other pitchers haven't done more of since Escobar really goes up there looking for the first fastball did he mean to send? Surely he meant to send a message, and maybe he didn't mean to hit him. But Ted, did he surely meant to send a message? And do you think the Royals? Obviously not. They're not going to retaliate because it's the World Series. Why would you do that? But they have to do something, right? I mean, do they retaliate, or what's your opinion? How do the Royals react to what Syndergaard did last night?
It kind of is reminiscent to, did he order the code red?
You mean like a Red Bull?
Did he order the code red? And I'm going to say they don't do anything.
Thor's on that fence, man.
This is World Series. This is all the marbles.
But, I mean, you think about it and you think, well, what happens if Mats does it tonight? I mean, at some point, I'm not saying throw at one of their guys, although what else can you do? But, you can't allow the other team to start kind of trying to bully you into feeling uncomfortable. I mean, there's got to be something that's done. Obviously, the best answer would be Escobar hitting another inside the park home run or something over the wall, obviously. But
right. Well, I mean, the retaliation obviously is when you throw at Syndergaard, but they're not going to get that opportunity, of course.
They can throw it at him in the clubhouse. They just aim, or I guess he's going to be in the bullpen.
That's a thought. I think they will do something because they were talking to. Of course, they interviewed a lot of the Royals, but Hosmer said, well, maybe we can come up with our own plan, our own master plan. And I think they are going to do something. Absolutely think they're going to do something. World Series or not. Like you just said, Lee, it's like you can't let the other team, in this case one guy, but bully you. And Syndergaard he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he wasn't throwing for his head. He was sending a message. The message is, home plate, that plate's mine. It's not yours. And it worked. Whether that had the effect on the whole team or not, doesn't matter because the results is the only thing that matters, and it worked. It'd be interesting to see how the Mets pitchers, and they're not going to do that for the rest of the series. That would be insane. Oh, now we know how to pitch them. We throw the first pitch at Escobar's head, and then that's not what's going to happen. But like you said, he sent the message. It established the tone for the game. The Royals have to do something to establish. No, you're not doing that to us. So something's going to happen tonight. Well, hopefully the ratings are just like 50. Share tonight. Because, my God, I mean, this has been a fun series, and it's just going to get better.
You know, and at least from the Mets' behalf, if they are thrown at tonight, which they won't, you have Young on the mound for the Royals, so his fastball goes up there
right.
to 60? So,
exactly.
It's not going to hurt
if it hits you. Oh, my God, you're right. This is the perfect time to do it, because, it's like the guy's throwing wiffle balls. You can't hurt me. Go ahead, throw my head. I'll take it on my cheek. Whatever.
You see, Phil Negro hit me. He intentionally hit me with that ball. Did you see that? It was ridiculous. Excellent. So,
it's like, how can you tell the ball drops anyway?
Hit me right on the foot. He was aiming for my head, hit me in the foot. It's ridiculous. So in just a couple of minutes, we're actually going to be joined by Jeffrey Paternostro of Amazing Avenue. He has a great podcast. Definitely want to get his take on things that are happening in the World Series. So, but what do the Royals? Ted, I'll throw this out to you. What do the Royals need to do tonight to get? There's a noise. Not sure who that is, but
I was clearing my throat. Sorry.
But Ted, so are you on Skype now?
I am on Skype right now, guys. I'm sorry. I lost track of time, and I'm here now. I was there before, but I am now in the official Happy Hour Network studio.
Well, I'm sure.
Okay, the question is, what are you drinking, Ted?
He's drinking whatever it is. When you open it, it's a loud, piercing noise. But anyway, Ted, what do the Royals need to do tonight to regain momentum of the series? I mean, is Mats a good matchup for them?
Mats is a really good matchup for them. As I mentioned before, he's a scary matchup. Why? There's not that much data that's out there on him because this is his 9th career start. So we've seen before in the past when he's gotten chased out. And yes, he was 4-0 in 6 starts during the regular season, but I think his last start he might have went 5 innings, but he's going to give up a few runs. He's going to give up a few runs, and like you said, max for Max is 95. I do agree with you where they will jump on the first pitch, but I think the Achilles heel for Matt is they're going to jump on him, but with the ultimate goal of getting to that bridge, and that the bridge is very weak. So I can
feel like I'm listening to a sermon. It says that the bridge is weak. And now
there's a bridge over troubled waters in Flushing. Because if you can't get to that 6th inning, what do? You start throwing, like I said, their only answer is Bartolo, Neese, and then Reed, and even Clippard isn't as solid as he was during the season. I mean, he was last night, but so our problem is there's a gap between the starters and Familia. So I don't know. I'm really concerned as a homer. I'm concerned we've got to at least get to. I would love for Max to get through 6. If we can get through 6, then that's a success. And if you can only give up 2 or so runs, anything more than that could be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean that's a quality start, right? 2 or fewer runs, 6 innings.
Yeah. Do you said before he has to paint the corners. Do you think he's obviously he's capable of it, but what do you think the odds are that he'll be able to do that against the Royals?
I'm going to say right now.
Yeah, I can tell from that. You don't like that.
No. I give him about a 40%. I give him about a 40% because, I mean, the Royals are scary. The Royals are scary. I mean, last night, yeah, it was great. The win in Citi Field and everyone, Chris Rock and Seinfeld. But now it's a series. and we have to sit here, and you don't get tonight. I mean, if you don't get tonight, you can basically say it's almost over.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I mean,
it's not over, but boy, the outcome is problematic, as our leader, the immortal one, said, and it would be if they don't win tonight.
Yeah. Either way, they've put themselves in a position to not. Well, I guess they could lose the series at home, but it seems likely that they won't lose at home. And then they're going back on the road to Kansas City, and they've put themselves in a position to win the World Series at this point. They only needed to get that first win. Obviously, was huge, but at this point we're actually going to be joined by Jeffrey Paternostro of Amazing Avenue. Jeffrey writes and hosts a podcast at SB Nation's Amazing Avenue and writes for Baseball Prospectus. Jeffrey's been on before. He's a fabulous guest, and so Jeffrey, thanks again for being on.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Syndergaard got a win and 6 strikeouts last night. Why was he able to accomplish what Harvey and DeGrom could not? And how do you feel about the issue with the pitch going inside on Escobar and Syndergaard's comments afterwards about, hey, if you want to make a big deal out of it, I'm 60 feet 6 inches away.
Well, I'll start with the first part of the question because I was at the game and. Yeah, it was a statement pitch, fine, but it never really played into it. I didn't think it would be the storyline coming out of it. But here we are, it's a 24-hour news cycle, and he did kind of throw some gasoline on the fire with his post-game comments. I mean, you expect him to come out and say, I was a little amped up, first game of the World Series, I've ever pitched, pitch just got away from me, yada, yada, yada. The usual stuff to keep you from getting a 5-game suspension. And if he had said that, I don't think it would have been a story, but that's not really Noah Syndergaard's style. He very much tells it like it is in all sort of facets, which is fine. I mean, I don't think anyone from the Royals can go out there and fight him. He looks like he's a dude that can take care of himself.
Yeah, no kidding.
But at the end of the day, there's a difference between a 95 to 97 mile an hour fastball and the 100 mile an hour fastball that Syndergaard throws. And he's added a 2-seamer this year, which gives him a little different look for these guys. And I don't care how good you are at hitting 95 plus. That is a tough ask. And he had fastball working. He threw the slider more than he has in any other start this year. And he was able to back foot it to lefties just to give a different look. And it's a guy, that is probably a little bit fresher than Harvey or DeGrom at this point. I know he's thrown more innings than he ever has in his career, but it's fewer than Harvey and DeGrom. He's a big dude. He looks like a guy that can throw 220, 240 innings a year pretty comfortably. It's not high effort in the delivery at all. And, I don't think the results on paper that different from Harvey and DeGrom starts, but you could just see it, that it was just a different level of stuff that he had at his fingertips.
Yeah, excellent points. So, David Wright obviously came up big last night. How special was it for David Wright, specifically Mets fans generally, that he was able to come up with 4 RBI and, his first start really in the World Series, and and he's had an up and down career as far as injuries. So how big was it for him last night, and what does it mean going forward, do you think?
I think it was a nice moment. I think it was huge for the Mets fan psyche. I don't know about David Wright's psyche. I guess there's nothing worse. I don't think there's nothing worse. That's an exaggeration. It's tough at times to be the best player on a good but not great team. If you're Derek Jeter, you're a legend. If you're a good player on a terrible team, hey, at least you can go to the park and watch X. When you're David Wright and you're a very, very good player, if not for the injuries, probably a Hall of Famer, or at least someone in the conversation 10 years from now. On a team that's been good but underachieved at times, been a little disappointing. He's been on teams that broke your heart. That's tough. That's a weird place to be. That's a guy that's going to take probably more criticism than he deserves. So to have him, and he's done it all playoffs. I mean, overall, it hasn't been great. He had the tough game 1 where he struck out against Ryan Madson in extra innings with a man in scoring position. He made the error that eventually led in the winning run. But, he's come up with big hit after big hit in this series. And to do that in front of the home crowd, and the place went absolutely nuts. And it was an absolute bomb. Sort of set the tone for that game. After the first inning, everybody was pumped going into the stadium. then you get the first inning. It's a very Royals run, sort of a little dribbler. A possible strike three doesn't get called, and then Zobrist doubles, a double play that should have been turned. Sort of like every Mets nightmare inning you can think of against the Royals so far this season. For him to just set the tone and come out and say, nope, it's not going to happen today. This is my team. We're winning at home. It's a nice moment.
Hey, Jeff, this is Ted. Happy to have you back. The Royals are an amazing fastball hitting team. What can the Mets pitching do to combat the issue for the rest of the series?
I'm curious to see what Steven Matz does tonight. He doesn't have even as big a fastball as Harvey or DeGrom. It's very good from the left side. It's going to sit 94, 95. He's another guy that can throw a two-seamer and give you a different look. I wonder if he maybe throws the slider a little bit more. I know that Syndergaard said we're going to throw our fastball, and that DeGrom and Harvey especially got away from that a little bit in their starts and tried to sort of pitch backwards, double up on the off-speed stuff. I mean, that might work. Neither Harvey or DeGrom just had their best secondary stuff in the holster for that game, and it happens. Maybe it's just a blip. But if they do get through this one and they do get it back to 2-2, and the pitching matchup I think favors them to a certain extent. Though Chris Young looked really good in Game 1, he's coming back on short rest. They don't really have a backup long man unless they want to use Medlin on back-to-back days. They burned it for an inning last night, which I didn't understand, and he's never pitched on back-to-back days before in his career. If they get back to even, I think you got to be pretty comfortable. They didn't look great in Games 1 and 2, but if I told you at the beginning of the series it would be a best of 3 with Harvey, DeGrom, and Syndergaard on the mound, I think you're going to take your chances.
It's true. A series isn't over until it's over, but of course. How should the Mets approach the Royals offensively for the rest of the series?
Look, they're not going to get the huge strikeout numbers we're used to with this staff. They have to be prepared to turn balls into outs. And they've been shaky on that in the series. The double play in the first inning being a good example of that. The ball that got by Syndergaard. They have to field their positions, and they have to make plays. And they have to make better pitches. They have to be able to throw their fastballs for better strikes. I mean, Syndergaard didn't have huge strikeout numbers all in all last night. But what he was able to do was get the Royals out in front of pitches, off the end of the bat, that kind of stuff. It's not every day where they're just going to have 10 hits and a 5 in one inning and 4 in another inning. Some of that's bad luck, some of that's sequencing, some of that's the Mets starters weren't making their pitches. You just have to keep sort of muddling through and basically, stick with what brought you to the dance and hope it works better next time. I mean, there's no magic bullet. This team does not strike out a lot. No other team in baseball struck out less than 18% of the time. They struck out 16% of the time.
Right. Hey, Jeffrey, awesome stuff so far. This is Todd, by the way, and I can't. At this point, I would much rather sit next to you at a ball game than either of the schleps I'm usually with. Of course, we hope this is going to go back to Kansas City. What is it about the Royals that makes them so good at home?
They have very much built a team that fits that stadium. It's a pitcher's park with big outfields, a lot of foul territory. It's one of those old 50, 60 stadiums. It's reminds you a little bit of Shea, big symmetrical outfield, a lot of foul territory, and they have guys that they hit gap to gap, and they have outfielders that cover a lot of ground. I mean, there were some balls in Kansas City the Mets absolutely drilled that just didn't carry. It's cold weather now too. You got to keep that in mind. The ball is not going to carry. You've got to kind of take more of a contact hitter's approach, and the Royals are very much suited to that. They're guys that don't swing and miss, and they're not. You're not outside of Escobar. They're not light hitting hitters. Gordon and Moustakis and Hosmer are going to hit a ton of doubles in that park, and Kane, Gordon, and not really Rios, but they have certainly better bench defensive options in the outfield. Are going to keep you from hitting doubles in that park.
Right. Going back to tonight's matchup specifically, Young against Matz, seems to favor the Mets. Like you said, Young coming back on short rest. What does Matz, though? What does he need to do that Harvey and DeGrom couldn't do?
For Mats, I just want to see him get deep into the start. He hasn't gotten past the fifth in either of his playoff outings. He hasn't really been on a regular routine either. Keep in mind he had the lat issue late in the season and then the stiff back that really kept him from getting into a game late in September to maybe sort of get back into the rhythm of pitching once every 5 or 6 days. And then in the playoffs, they had the big layoff coming into the World Series. He hasn't pitched now in probably 9 or 10 days. So it's just, is he going to have his rhythm there? Is he going to be able to throw his fastball for strikes? He had serious issues with his command. I think it is just sort of a reps thing. He didn't pitch much in the second half of the year. He has to get comfortable throwing his fastball to both sides of the plate for strikes. He's got to be able to mix in his curve and his changeup. And the curve is excellent, and that's going to be a thing to watch. This is a lefty-leaning lineup. He can go fastball curve through this lineup better than the Mets righties could. And he does have a pretty good change, and he started to throw a little bit against the Cubs. So what you really want from him is you want him to be able to hand the ball. This is something the Mets have to do in every single game if you want to beat the Royals. They have the better starting pitcher pretty much every day. What they have to do is they have to get the ball into the hands of their late-inning relievers. So, Clippard, Reed, Familia, with a lead. However you do that, they got to go at least 6. Because once you get into the sort of the teeth of that Royals bullpen, you're just not scoring runs, as we saw in Game 1.
Hey, Jeff, so, win or lose, the Masons have had a wonderful year, really a great year, something that we didn't expect. But thinking about next year, the Mets, the word around town is that the Mets probably won't re-sign Daniel Murphy, and they're probably outpriced in the race for Cespedes. What can the Mets do to revamp the offense and make it back to the World Series next year? Do they trade one of their pitchers? And we heard, another rumor that we heard early on at the onset of the series. Put on your baseball hat, your GM hat. What do you think they should do?
What I think they should do is very different than what they will do. I don't see any reason they should price out. I don't think they should price out of the market on Cespedes for starters. Look, he's a flawed player, and we've started to see some of the flaws the last month or so. He wasn't going to slug 670 or whatever it was in August forever. But he's a guy that really reshapes this lineup. It gives them another power right-handed bat in the middle of the lineup, lets them go lefty-righty. He's a pretty good center fielder, bizarre play in Game 1, notwithstanding. He's not Juan Lagares, but he can handle it. And, look, they've had, tonight will be their 6th home playoff game. That's a lot of revenue. And you've seen the ticket prices on StubHub. They're doing fine. They have a lot of money coming off the books, Daniel Murphy included. I don't think they will re-sign him, probably, given they can come closer to replacing his production internally with guys like Wilson Herrera and Wilmer Flores. I'm not saying those guys will come out and immediately be as good as Daniel Murphy, but you're closer there than you are starting Juan Lagares in center field compared to Yoenis Cespedes. So they have to go out and get a big bat of some sort. You're right. They reshaped their lineup post-trade deadline as a home run hitting team, and it has worked. When they've been winning games in the playoffs and down the stretch, they were hitting home runs. They need another big middle-of-the-order power bat. Now, what you're going to hear is basically as of November 5th or whenever the off-season officially starts, it's going to be an off-season entirely of Matt Harvey trade rumors. And look, Matt Harvey will bring back whatever power middle-of-the-order bat you want. I know there's been a lot of, how do I say this? Can I swear?
Sure.
There's been a lot of bullshit. There's been a lot of bullshit around Matt Harvey in the last 6 weeks or so. That's the best sort of noun I can come up with to describe it. But at the end of the day, it's a cost control pitcher, 3 years left on the contract in arbitration of an ace, a bona fide ace. And we saw what he could do against Chicago. We might see it again in this series. I wouldn't trade him. Spend the money, don't spend the players.
Oh, well put, extremely well put. So, Jeffrey, you've been on a couple of times. You're fantastic to have on every time we've had you on. Will you let people know where they can find you on the interwebs?
Sure. I am the minor league editor at Amazing Avenue, so I head up all our minor league coverage there. We are heading into list season. I also host a weekly podcast, Amazing Avenue Audio, that you can find on iTunes or in the usual places, right on Blog Talk, in fact. And I also write a weekly column at Baseball Prospectus. I'm one of their staff writers there, so you can check that out at baseballprospectus.com. And I'm on Twitter at Jeff Paternostro.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on, and during the off season, hopefully the Mets will win the World Series, but we'd love to have you on in the off season, just see what's going on with the Mets, talk moves, and go from there. So thank you very much for being on.
No, thanks again for having me.
So that was Jeffrey Paternostro of Amazing Avenue and Baseball Prospectus, of course. He was always a great guest. He's always he speaks so succinctly and so well that it puts me to shame. I think I feel like I'm just like, what word am I searching for next? So let's talk about the important thing tonight. Is of course the World Series game, but it's also Halloween. So Ted, your kids go trick or treating. How do they handle trick or treating? Is it just going around the neighborhoods, or do you go to a certain place, or do you trick or treat at all?
Usually it's two-pronged. I usually keep it on the block, to the families that I know on the block, and then we usually go to our church usually has like a harvest fest.
Oh, cool.
And then from there, like last night, I went and purchased about 15 bags of candy because, with Halloween being Saturday, these trick-or-treaters are going to be out here by like 12 o'clock, and it's going to be all day. So I wanted to make sure we were stocked up so that we don't get egged.
I'm sorry, you said trick-or-treaters at 12 o'clock?
Yes.
Is that what you said? Seriously? Wow.
Trick-or-treat. Yeah. It's Saturday. They're going to get full. I mean, come on. When was the last time there was Halloween on a Saturday?
I'm assuming 8 years ago. But
about that much.
No, that's crazy. I've just never. That's why. I mean, maybe it's just because in New York, obviously, you have a whole different set of things you're able to do than you are in Tennessee.
I would.
Well, I climb into his windows and touch a bunch of stuff, and his family's out after dark, but he doesn't know that. But, so
15 bags of candy. Wow.
It's I know where I'm going tonight. So Todd,
I'm still bringing. Yeah, exactly.
You usually dress up and trick or treat. This is your first year back in South Florida. So are you going to go as Joe Philbin?
I have not considered that. I totally need to do that. Zombie Joe Philbin, because thank God he's a zombie. Regardless of the outcome of Thursday's game, which was not to my liking, but I thought they would lose the game anyway, just not that badly, I'm still extremely happy that we have nothing to do with that person anymore. Good guy, Joe. Such a good guy. He just doesn't know a damn thing about football. So I'm not doing anything for Halloween. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not doing anything for Halloween, but I'm not dressing up for Halloween because it would be kind of pointless to sit here in front of my laptop dressed in a costume.
You say that, but I'm always dressed up for this show. So, right now I'm Han Solo as per usual.
I've been there. You're not even dressed sometimes for the show, sir.
Ooh, it's a family show. No one wants to vomit so early on a Saturday morning. So, a couple of things. Oak Ridge finished their season. For the local people who listen, and Todd, they're now 9-1. They won last night 45-6, led 45-0 at halftime. But the interesting thing last week, Fulton, which is a team in Knoxville, high school in Knoxville, not a huge school, but
you're not
going to
say they lost, are you?
Oh, they lost earlier, but they lost to Maryville. But last week they were out. Actually, the team they played was a team that had only scored 13 points all year long, but which is sad. But that team ended up with negative rushing and passing yards against Fulton, which is interesting. But the score was 73-0. But just this, and for people who don't know who Fulton is, this is not why I'm saying this. But guess it was 73-0. Guess what it was at the end of the first quarter?
73. 73-0.
No, I mean, you can't 73 in one quarter. That's. But seriously,
Fulton
I mean,
can't.
well, it's okay.
52.
46. And the thing about it, the thing about it is 46 points in one quarter of football. It's like, how do you even have the time to score 46 points? So,
Ted, this is a team you would love to watch. I mean, their games are like freaking track meets. I mean, oh my God. Really?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
But
it's a magnet school. They turned it into a magnet school.
Oh, did they? I had no idea. This shows off the rails. I didn't know it was a magnet school. Oh.
That's one of the reasons that they're able to collect the talent that they're doing, because they're doing it. Okay, is it legitimate? Well, yeah, maybe, but it is through the aspect of the fact that it is a magnet school. So these kids are coming in there and they are getting like the best that county school system has to offer, or among the best. So Fulton, the atmosphere at Fulton has changed a lot. The quality of education, I guess I should say, has changed a lot. So it's not just a football factory, and I know that's kind of we used to be the classic inner city type high school, and they turned it into a magnet school. They revitalized it. They've got a lot of great teachers. So that's where this stems from. It's not because, we're going to be a football factory. I mean, we're going to be a quality, legitimate school, and the football is, I'm sure, is more important to a lot of people, but still, it's not. They're not only about football. So it's not like they're recruiting kids and they're scheming and they're getting their parents jobs and that kind of crap, because that happens in high school, which is sad. But this is more on the up and up for them. But man, they're fun it's fun to just watch, and I don't get to watch them down here, obviously. But how often have they been on the Game of the Week? They've probably been on 3 times up there. You know how they have the high school Game of the Week, because man, they're entertaining. Holy crap.
They change it up. They've been changing it up better this year, thankfully. So
have fun. That's fair.
Yeah,
but they're fun to watch. Oh my God.
Predictions for tonight's game, and of course I mean Tennessee and Kentucky. No, between the Mets and the Royals. Ted, what's your outlandish prediction for tonight?
Outlandish prediction for tonight: Steven Matz throws a perfect game.
That would be unexpected and fantastic at the same time. So that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Todd, your outlandish prediction for the season? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just knowing that he can't get out of the 5th inning. It's funny because he's a seasoned veteran. He's had more than 8 starts now, but it's I think he'll do well. I think the funny thing is he might be the kind of pitcher that gives the Royals more trouble than the other 3. Not that Syndergaard didn't pitch well last night. He did 6 strikeouts, 6 innings, won the game. But their fastball, really fastball first, and then their off-speed pitches are great. But Matz he throws harder than Greg Maddux, but he's more Maddux-like. So he knows he has to pitch. And so, that's harder sometimes for hitters, especially if the Royals are great fastball hitters, and they're actually going up against a quality starting pitcher who's going to pitch to them instead of just throw at them. I think that might be tougher for the Royals tonight. So, I think he'll have a good outing. So, Todd, what's your outlandish prediction for this evening?
Well, and you just tied into it. You're talking about a more Maddux-like pitcher, and that's obviously the pitcher for the Royals. And he was unhittable, literally, in Game 1. Of course, it was only 3 innings. I think he's going to get lit up tonight. I think it'll take a few innings, but I think by like the 4th, I think the Mets will put the 5 on him, and they'll chase him, and they'll get into that bullpen too early, which really, it's critical for the Mets that they get into that bullpen early so they can get some wear on those guys. So Game 5, it takes the bullpen a little more, I should say, out of the equation. So, and I also want to say that Computer Repair NC at CJ Computers NC fully endorses all of my opinions. 919-653-8496. It's fixed or it's free.
Okay, I have
Friends?
one more. Yes. I have. Well, I don't. What the hell was that? But I have one more question. This is directed directly at directed Ted. No. So Max is. He's not from New York, but he's from Long Island, which you live on Long Island. How much? And he's obviously he's a young kid like the rest of them. How much do you think pitching so close to home, and he's really a New York guy, obviously, even if he's from Long Island. How much do you think that will affect his nerves in this game? Do you think it'll affect it at all?
Oh, I think he's totally going to be in shock because last night he slept at his parents' house last night, and he will be commuting in. I think in situations like this, the level of pressure could tend to be too much. The fact that the additional tickets he's going to have to get. He's from Long Island, New York. The fact that everything is going to it hangs on his shoulders, and knowing that, and also knowing that in the back of his mind, it's hard to get to the sixth inning. But I think he should do well tonight. I'm going to be rooting him on. I do have one thing that's off topic that I would like to bring up, if I may.
Let me check. Yes, you may. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted
and that's
to say,
our show. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I wanted to start off and say a heartfelt goodbye to a friend that I considered, very close to me when I was growing up. Loved him a lot. He was baseball in New York. Want to say goodbye to Dunny Baseball because he was just hired by the Miami Marlins, where managers go to die.
The real question is, Ted, will he still have a job in August with the Marlins?
Oh, I doubt it. But God bless him for getting that four-year deal. God bless him for it. I hope you get to work two of those years.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if is the deal guaranteed for 4 years?
The deal is guaranteed for 4 years.
Yeah, he's not guaranteed to have the job, but he is guaranteed to get paid for 4 years.
No.
That's all that matters. He's guaranteed to get paid because, they'll probably fire him seriously in August because they're idiots. I was shocked when he took that job. I was shocked.
Well, it's baseball. I think they're all guaranteed contracts. Even if you get fired, they still have to pay you.
But, it's just, oh, my God. What a...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, my outlandish prediction for tonight, I am talking. My outlandish...
Oh, okay.
Who that was?
No, let's talk over it. Let's talk really loud. Okay.
That was like, oh, I'm sorry. I felt such like an alpha male for once. My outlandish prediction for tonight is that first still on the Mets payroll. It'll go into extras, and Brett Saberhagen will come in and pitch 8 innings of shutout relief, and the Mets will win 2-1. And also, Bobby Bonilla will hit the home run to win the game. So, we'll go from there. You both sighed. That was awesome. Todd's not even a Mets fan, but it was just like, I don't know, maybe the joke was so bad. I apologize to the listening public. all one of you. So that's our show. What's that?
And Mo Vaughn will come in during Game 6 in DH.
Mo Diggity.
He'll just come in as a defensive replacement. I think that's cool.
It's short? Yeah.
Yeah, short stuff. Any final thoughts before we let the people go? Like Moses? No, he kept his people. I don't know. He died on a mountain. I don't know. So any final thoughts? Beyond that?
He had to run on the red line, right between the waves.
Right.
Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets.
I agree. Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. That's as enthusiastic as I can be.
All right. That's our show. Thanks for listening. Maybe we'll have a show tomorrow. Who knows what's going on. So we'll have to figure that out later, and we'll let you people know. But thanks for listening. Here's our outro.
The fans hoping to catch a little bit of the old-time religion right here, baby. With Junior stepping up to the plate. Here comes the stretch. And the pitch to Junior on the way. Swing and a fly ball hit to deep right center field. That baby is going to be fly away. The old-time religion lives. Junior does it. A 2-run home run. And we are tied at 3-3. My, oh my. Magic is back at least for a night.
It's Flo, and this is my impression of a traveling lounge singer. And we're going up the airport escalator. Hey, where you from? No response. Classic. Got in an accident, so you gotta take a cab, huh? No cabs at Progressive service centers. They got rental cars on site, which is out of sight, you know?
Progressive takes the hassle out of claims. Just drop your car off at one of our service centers and we'll manage the rest.
Here's a little number I like to call Waiting for the Shuttle Bus.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Service centers not available in all areas. You have a choice of repair facilities.